After the Soviet Union folded, so did its Premier League, the Soviet Top League. There were 16 teams in this league, and it had a rich history, and many of those teams were known throughout Europe. Of the 16 teams in the Russian Premier League, there were 6 Russian teams, mainly from Moscow, 6 Ukrainian teams as well, and then 1 Armenian team, 1 Belarusian team, namely Dynamo Minsk, 1 Uzbek team, and 1 team from Tajikistan. In this video we will look at what happened to these teams after the fall of the Berlin Wall, so after the Eastern Bloc fell apart. And we'll quickly brush over all the teams, and we'll start off the bottom of the league table and we'll work our way up towards the 1991 Soviet Top League winners. In 16th place from that season is Locomotive Moscow, a team that many teams are probably familiar with now. They finished 16th and bottom in the last Soviet Top League season, and they never won the Soviet Top League actually. They did win the Soviet Cup twice, however. They were not a great and big team during the Soviet era, and they kind of regained during the Russian era, in which they won the Russian Premier League 3 times. Next up in 15th place is Metalist Kharkiv, a team that some people may be familiar with. During the early Europa League era in the modern football age, there were familiar foes for many teams in Europe. But unfortunately, in 2016, this club folded, like so many other teams in Ukraine as of late. This team used to play at the Metalist Stadion, which had a capacity of 40,000 and was also used during the Euros in Poland and Ukraine. Metalist Kharkiv was a club that also never really won anything of major, except for 1 Soviet Cup. But they were one of those Ukrainian teams that was always up there. And unfortunately, this club folded, because it's never nice to see a club disappear from the world of football. In 14th, and this is a name that I'll butcher, is Metallurgy Zaporizhia. Hopefully it is half correct. It's a team from Ukraine as well, and just like Metalist Kharkiv, they also folded. This team, however, is a lot less known in the world of Ukrainian football, in the case that they didn't win nearly as much as Metalist Kharkiv, or didn't have the renown like Metalist Kharkiv. They folded in 2016 while playing in the lower level of Ukrainian football. However, they did make the early stages of the UEFA Cup in 2002 and 2006. And now in 13th place we're heading over to the record champion of the nation of Uzbekistan, and that team is Poshtor Tashkent. They finished 13th in the last Soviet Premier League season and are currently the record title holders of Uzbekistan with 13 league titles, and they won the last 2 of Uzbekistan. In the Soviet Top League, they never actually won a single trophy. However, they did feature on regular occasion in the top flight, as seen in the 1991 season. And up next in 12th place, a little known team called Shakhtar Donetsk. During the Soviet era, they weren't the powerhouse they are currently this day. This all happened when they were taken over by a wealthy Ukrainian, and he launched them up into Ukrainian greatness. As of today, they've won the Ukrainian Championship 13 times, the Ukrainian Cup 13 times, the Ukrainian Super Cup 8 times. They did win 4 Soviet Cups, but never won the Soviet top flight outright. And they once, in 2009, won the UEFA Cup, the predecessor to the Europa League. Up next, in 11th place, is Spartak Vladivostok. This team actually never won a single trophy in Soviet times, but Spartak Vladikavkaz, difficult name to say, is one of the teams outside of the big teams from Moscow and St. Petersburg that won the Russian Premier League in 1995, which is a great achievement for a team like this. However, unfortunately, in 2014, they folded, and the current club that was competing in the Soviet top league does not exist anymore. However, there is a Phoenix club operating on the second level of Russian football that goes by the name of Alania Vladikavkaz. Next up, in 10th place, is Pamir Dushanbe, who are currently known as CSKA Dushanbe. They competed in the Soviet top league for a few seasons, but never actually won a trophy while playing in the Soviet top league. The first two official Tajik championships were won by this club when they were known as Pamir Dushanbe still. However, after that they never won the Tajik top league again, and now Tajikistan has been dominated by Istiklal Dushanbe. Next up, in 9th place, a team that most of the people here would also be familiar with, Dnipropetrovsk. So we're traveling back to Ukraine. And this team was actually very good of recent, making the Europa League final in 2015, but losing 2-3 against Sevilla, who would win a lot of Europa Leagues in the modern era. And Dnipropetrovsk folded in 2019. Unfortunately, they also no longer exist. They managed to win 2 Soviet top league titles, so it's also the first team out of this list that actually managed to win the top league in the Soviet Union. They also managed to win 1 Soviet Cup. Next up is Dynamo Minsk. The team from the Belarusian capital was usually one of the only teams from Belarus in the Soviet top league. They were the dominant force in Belarus for the years just after the fall of the Soviet Union. But, I mean, I think most people would know Bate Borisov to be the biggest club in Belarus right now. Also, Dynamo Minsk managed to win the Soviet top league on 1 occasion. Next up, in 7th, we travel to the Armenian SSR and to FC Ararat Yerevan. And this team, who currently play in Armenia, did manage to win a Soviet championship, which is quite impressive for a team from such a small Soviet republic. They managed to win it in 1973. They currently sit 4th in the Armenian Premier League. And yeah, after the fall of the Soviet Union, Armenian football has of course never been up to any grades. And the fact that they won a Soviet Premier League is massive for a team like this. And after the fall of the Soviet Union, they only managed to win the Armenian Premier League on 1 occasion. Next up, in 6th place, is 11-time Soviet top league champion Dinamo Moscow, a team that we're probably all familiar with. However, in the Russian Premier League, they haven't been as successful as they had been in the Soviet Union, because they even got relegated to the lower divisions of Russian football very recently. They did win the league to come back up, but they have never won a Russian Premier League title. Next up, in 5th, another very successful team, Dinamo Kiev, another Dynamo team. In the Soviet Union, they won the league 13 times, and they won 9 Soviet Cups. They even won 2 Europa Cup 2s and 1 UEFA Super Cup. Now in the Ukraine, they've also been one of the most successful teams together with Shakhtar Donetsk. They won the Ukrainian Super Cup 9 times, the Ukrainian Cup 12 times, and the Ukrainian League 15 times. Next up, in 4th place and staying in the Ukraine, is Chernomorets Odessa. In the Ukrainian divisions, they have never really fared off great like Dinamo Kiev and Shakhtar Donetsk, although they have made the Europa League on plenty of occasions, finishing 4th or 5th in the Ukrainian Premier League. Currently, however, they are playing in the Persha Liga, which is the 2nd tier of Ukrainian football. They did win 2 cups, the Ukrainian Cup twice, but that's all the trophies they've won in their existence. So Chernomorets Odessa, 4th in the Soviet top league, the last one that they ever played. Next up, 3-time Soviet top league winners, Torpedo Moscow. The team from Moscow, who finished 3rd in the last Soviet top league season, haven't been of great in the last years in the Russian leagues. They have even gone down to the third tier of Russian football, but recently got promoted to the second tier of Russian football. In Russia, they won the cup in 1993, but that is where Torpedo Moscow's existence on the higher tiers of Russian football came to an end. They have currently been struggling to get back into the top league, but who knows, it might happen in the future. They did win the Soviet Championship 3 times, however, though, so they're a big name in Russian football. So next up, in second place in the Soviet top league is Spartak Moscow, so another Moscow team. This team won the Soviet Championship 12 times, the Soviet Cup 10 times. And going over to the Russian era after the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Iron Curtain, they won the Russian Championship 10 times, and most of these championships came in the late 90s. So a lot of them after the Soviet Union had just fallen. And the most recent league title from Spartak was in 2017. And last, but certainly not least, because they finished first of course, is SKA Moscow. The team won the Soviet Championship 7 times, the Soviet Cup 5 times. In the Russian era, they won the championship 6 times, won the Russian Cup 7 times, and the Russian Super Cup 7 times as well. Their biggest victory, probably though, of the recent era came in 2005 when they won the UEFA Cup. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video learning about the teams of the Soviet Union and what happened to them after the Soviet Union fall and where they are now in this current day and age. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of this style of content. And that's all for me for now, so I would like to see you in the next one. Goodbye.